Hello everybody. Welcome. We have got another craft scene investigation today. So, pardon me while I look down here for just a second. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I was a couple of minutes late to my own live. And it's my event today. So, welcome on in. We have another evidence of creativity. Today is case number 722, the maps. And so we are going to find all kinds of fabulous things today with maps. And so we're either going to find people using maps today or inspired by maps. So we don't have any idea what in the world our fabulous friends and presenters will be doing with their maps. And oh my goodness, I just saw that my camera flashed that thing, and I hope I don't lose that today. Oh my goodness, you guys, what is with that thing? Let me just put myself into the group where I'm supposed to be, and then we will go on from there. How's that sound? Excuse me, I am streaming into both Facebook and YouTube today, hopefully. Let me go check it out and make sure that I got myself over there. Yes, okay. Phew, okay. So we will just be having some fun today, and I've got not only one, I've got a whole book of maps. You know, one of the fun things about using maps is being able to find them relatively easily, and some big ones too. A lot of times you can find old atlases, like road atlases, and with like at estate sales, old, like we've got stores here called Half Price Books, and you can get them there too. Hi Ann, hi Lisa. And so it's a great way to pick up some maps, and they are big pieces. They're big pieces of paper. I'm going to go ahead and put you down to my desktop now, and let's take a look at one of these huge pieces. Look how big these papers are. And I don't know. I tried to zoom out a little bit, and I don't know. No, there. That's a little bit better. Oh, I don't know why when I tried that before, I couldn't really get it out much more. There we go. Because I think I'm going to need all the room I can get on this today, right? To show that piece of great big map paper. So this came out of a road atlas, and I was just playing around. I had an idea of something I wanted to do. I've done it before. I'm going to make a little booklet, and I've done them before, but just with a piece of scrapbook paper. And so I thought it'd be fun to try doing it with a map. Hi Kim, hi Daryl, hey Nicole, how are you? So that's what we're going to do today. And I pulled this out, and I was going to, do a sample one, and guess what? I ran out of time. So, oh my goodness, what happened here? Oh, I got the wrong view here. Hey, there we go. Well, now I got to set my, let me zoom back. Whoops, that's the wrong spot. Oh my goodness, you guys. Let me see if I can get it out a little bit more. I don't know what is going on with that. It's like it doesn't want to zoom out any more than that. I guess we'll make that work, right? But look, you guys, look at this great big road a world atlas. And I found this at an estate sale a while back. Good grief, I got a cup of coffee here. That doesn't sound like a good idea. Okay, now hopefully there won't be a craft avalanche over there. Okay, so I was looking at this, and I thought, I've used those road maps so much, and one of the things I like about a lot of the times when I use, just the plain road maps is I like the lines sometimes, like for the roadways, and a lot of times you get a lot of blue and red lines for highways and things like that, and I do like that. But I was flipping through this, and I mean, look, these sometimes have bigger, this world atlas seems to have more pages that have bigger expanses of just map. than a lot of the things that I have had with just the other. Oh my gosh, I'm having trouble like between Road Atlas and the World Atlas. So, I'll get it together. I will. Hey, Bev. Hi, Cheryl, Jeanette, Patsy. You guys, welcome on in. And so, but look, I mean, these sometimes have bigger expanses of just, map stuff than my Road Atlases do. And the Road Atlases, a lot of time you get to having all these little squares. Then they break off into so many things that are like cities, small little pictures of cities. And so I'm looking through here and there's all kinds of different maps. And then I got back here and I'm like, oh my goodness, this would be so cool. I think this says Pacific Ocean floor. And I'm like, well, I kind of like the color. It's very different than some of the stuff that, I have used before. And so I found this page, and I think I'm going to take this page out right here. It's got, nice color on both sides. So we're going to take this one out. And, a lot of people, think it's just horrendous to take books apart and things like that. But you know what? Some of these things, like, I don't know how many of you have like an old globe or anything, but I tell you what, I can tell you that the globe that I used to have, it would not be current anymore at all. Hey, Daryl. I know, isn't this great? It's got all kinds of stuff. I think I'm going to grab my big, let me see which way might be easiest to tear. I'm thinking if I put this here and tear against this might be easiest. So I'm just going to push that really hard into the spine here and hope this helps give me a good tear. We'll see, won't we? Oh, it's already not tearing good. Let me start from the other end. That's the problem with doing these sometimes, is getting a good tear from a book. You know what? Let me try this side. Maybe I should have done it on this side instead. That paper's thick, you guys. My goodness, this is a lot thicker than like the Road Atlas paper. I can tell you that. I'm just going to go ahead and get it out of here, and then I think I'll trim it. Okay. We got it. We got a page of a map. So let's see what we can do with that. And you guys, there's so much paper in one of those. My goodness, what? And this was something else I noticed in these big atlases. You've also got a lot of text in these things, in the back. And I'm like, I never thought about looking in the back. That is some really cool text to use. It's very condensed, and that would make some great things to use. And like I said, this paper is really thick. So you guys, look for these kinds of things. And when you find some of those, usually they're not really all that expensive. Okay, I'm going to have to trim this off a little. And that could be kind of, we'll see how this goes. I think as long as I know it's straight up there, and let's just do it like this. However, I can't get all the way through there. I'm going to have to probably do 2 passes. Well, that's pretty good. I got a lot of it off like that. I think I'll just flip it this way. And then I can line it up here. And I know it's still straight up there. Okay, let's see how we can. Okay, that's not bad. I think that'll work. I think that's okay. All right, now, what my goal is I want to have, I think I'm going to do 4 columns and then 3 rows. Now, my columns are going to be easy, like this. Well, let's see. And I don't really care which way it goes, because no matter which way I put it, I don't really need to have it right side up, I don't think. Well, let's see. If we did it this way, I don't care. Let's just do it like this, okay? So, to make it easy on ourselves, let's just fold it in half and give it a nice crease along here. And then, if we want 4, let's turn it back here and fold it. I think this is going to be our easiest way without doing a lot of measuring. Okay. And then we'll do that on this side. So this should give us some nice even sections like that. Okay, so phew, we got that part done. Now the problem is going to be getting this into thirds, but I think what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to use my fabulous ruler that has a 0 on it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it over this way, and I'm going to make my 0 on the edge of this page like that. I'm going to pull it there and put the 0 there. And now I'm going to line it up. Now, obviously, this is going to squish down a little bit more, but that's how I'm going to see what I've got. So that is a little more than, that's about 3 5/8, and I don't have quite that much over here. Oh my goodness, this might be a little difficult. I'm going to just do it a smidge more. Oh, now I gotta have enough room to put the 0 up there. I kind of wish this was in a different spot. Okay, I think that's good, and I'm gonna go with that. So now I'm gonna hold it straight down here so that that part is straight, and now I'm just gonna press this up here and get my fold. Man, that paper's thick. How many of you guys have used any of this kind of paper from a world atlas like that? And of course, you know, it said it was a Reader's Digest. Okay, so now we've got that. And so now all I have to do is open this and then pull this one over to that crease. You know what, you guys? This, I can tell now it's going to be hard to see the creases. Well, I guess all I have to do is, just like we did the other one, just make sure I've got it down here. Okay, I'm hoping this works out. We'll see. We'll see. If not, I got a whole other book full of paper, right? Okay. I'll fold this back on itself and see how that looks. Okay, it's pretty even. It's not exact, but you know, I'm gonna live with it. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to cut, and we are going to cut on one. Oh my goodness! If I could find a pair of scissors with long blades, they'll be helpful. Okay, we are going to cut. These are going to be funny little, this is going to be a chunky little book, you guys. It's going to almost have square little pages. I didn't really plan that, but you know, hey, we'll see how it goes. Okay, there we go. Now I can see these. I need to really fold these so I can see them. Okay. And then this one. Now we got to have some better creases, you guys. Okay, so man, this color is just hard to see. Maybe if I flip it. No. Okay, yeah, I can kind of see it better this way. Okay, so here's my lines for my columns. Here's 1, 2, 3 score marks. So I'm going to start over here, and I'm going to cut, and I'm just going to cut to that last one. And then we'll do the other top row, and see how that goes. You guys, that was so hard to see that line. Don't think I got it quite to the... Okay, now on this one we're going to come the other direction, and we're going to go from this way over. And we're just going to slice along the score line and stop at that last section. You guys, I think, oh, what did I do with that piece of paper? I think I might only kind of get, you know, a foundation of this little book done. And I'm going to show you some ways that we can add some things to it. Okay, so now we've got it like this. And now what we do is we just start folding. And now, if she could remember which way we fold, it would be great. I'm going to fold it this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. You don't want to fold it. You got to make sure you're not folding it over like this, because then it won't do anything. So you got to fold it to the back, this way, this way. Now, you've basically made a nice little accordion type thing, sort of, like this, okay? Now, depending on what you want to do with it, you could almost make it one of those little never-ending books, so when you know, get to the end, you flip it over, and then you can, you know, see the back. But instead of doing that, I'm going to glue some of these together, because that way we can make some little pockets on it, okay? So you just have to decide when you've got these openings like this, not like that. Okay, so you're going to do these, you know, like back to back, except, do I really want the Indian Ocean floor on that? What if we do it, oh, wait, let's see. Woo! Oh, I could put it like this. And then that's on the back. And since all the words are running up and down, I don't think it will matter. Okay, now we've gotten smaller. We got our paper. Let me move in a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's start deciding where we want to, you know, put some little pockets. So the thing about this is when you glue them, some of them you are going to be able to make some little pockets that come out to the side, and some of them can be little pockets at the top. So this one, let's glue these together, and we'll make this one a top pocket. So all we need to do is put some glue at the bottom, and you could, you know, if you want to use some double-sided tape too, you could do that. Okay, so we're just going to do that and fold that over, and just go to give it a good pinch. And you can see, I don't know if you can see, some of this might not be exactly super squared off. See that? See how it's like, you know, a little bit wonky? But you know, you've done so many folds and everything, that's just kind of the nature of how this is. And by the time you put all your little goodies together, nobody's going to care, honestly. Okay, so now this one, we can do a side tuck here. So let's put our glue, just, I think we only need it right there. Oh, no, we need it on this part. What was I thinking? You gotta have it on two sides. So you just kind of work with it, and you just discover what it's got to give you, right? Okay. So we're gonna pull that along there. Hey, Christy, how are you? Hi, Linda. Ink the creases. Yeah. Oh, well, it's a little late for that, but we still could do that. Thank you for that. Oh, you guys, wait. Before we continue on, let me tell you, we got a full day of fun here. So, I think what did I do with my list? Well, hang on one second, and I'll tell you who all is going to be here today. Because up after me is going to be Renee with Magically Rustic Designs, LLC. And then we've got Lisa from Craft Therapy with Lisa Ahmad. And then Jeannie from Clifton's Crafty Casa is going to be with us. And then following Jeannie, we've got Cheryl from Mama P's Crafty Creations. And then Celeste from Moments with Celeste. And then we've got Heidi from Joyful Artistry by Heidi. Bev with Bev's Creating with Love and Whimsy. And we've got Christy with Funky Junk Inspiration. And then rounding us out for the day is going to be Liz Crafting with Nani. So we have got just a full day. So we go from 10 a.m. Central to 8 p.m. Central tonight, you guys. So Eastern, that's going to be 11 to 9. You guys, it's a fun full day of so many crafters, and I can't wait to see what kind of evidence of creativity that they're going to come up with, you guys. It's just going to be so fun. So we're just looking for all the clues. We're gathering the evidence. We've got, to pull out the, just all of the things that we've got here. And we're just going to come up with some great things. And I don't know whether they're going to be, like, the easiest thing to probably do this would be to, actually use maps. But you guys, we've got some really clever people. They might just show us something that they were inspired to do. You guys, every time I do this and open this and put the glue down, I'm like, oh, I hope that's in the right spot. Okay, so we got another one on the top. Whoa! We've got a runaway map here. Okay, so we've got that one. What have you guys been doing? You guys, I feel so out of touch with all of you. Oh my goodness. I was so sick for several days. That was just crazy. I have not been that sick in ages and ages. And I think I had like some kind of flu or something. And I ran a fever for like about 3 or 4 days, which, that was crazy. My husband goes, "Where did you get that? You don't go anywhere." I go, "I know. I don't go anywhere." I said, "You guys must have brought me home some kind of creeping crud, Oh my goodness. So, okay, so now we got a side pocket. We can make this another top one. Linda, I don't even know if I don't even think that inking edges would have helped me with some of this today. Right? It's just paper. It sure is. It's just paper. And if you mess it up, toss it and start over, right? Or mistakes are really, or little accidents are just opportunities, right? They're just opportunities. Okay. Oh my goodness. Excuse me. So now we've got all of these little goodies here. Now, I think for something that I'm going to use, I got this old pillowcase, and I think I'm going to use that for, I was thinking I would grab like just a little piece of muslin and use it, and then where I thought my muslin was, there was this, and I thought, okay, well, I'll just use that. So I think I'm just going to rip a strip here. Rip a strip. Okay. But what in the world have you guys all been doing? I bet you were having fun without me, right? The fun must go on. Okay, I'm going to get that piece off of here, because I wanted a wider piece than that. Now, I don't know. Well, I think I want to cut this a little bit wider for my little strip to tie. Even though my book isn't very big, I think that would look cute. So I'm just going to snip it like this and cut my seam off right here. And then I'm just going to let it rip. Okay, so you know what? I used to watch all my friends do all this ripping, and I would think, and they acted like they enjoyed it so much. I can see why. I don't know. What is there about ripping fabric like that, just ripping it off, that seems rather therapeutic? I have no idea. Now, look at this. Look how many little strings I'm already going to have. Heidi and Linda will be so proud of me. Hi, Carol. How are you? Laura? Renee, hi. We do have a great lineup for today. Okay, so look at all this. Look at all this stringy goodness. So we're just, and then, you know, even though you want to keep some of those to use for later things, you kind of got to get rid of some of them so you can work on the project you're working on, right? So, my goodness, look at all that. But that ripped really good. And you know what? When I saw that old pillowcase that I'd already used for something, I got it somewhere and it kind of had some stains on it. And I thought, oh, you know, when something isn't pretty in the first place, it makes it easier to like rip it up, right? It just makes it so much easier. And so when I saw that, then I thought, wow, I wonder if I've got some other piece that, you know, some other linens that I wouldn't mind using for that kind of stuff. And then I'm thinking, well, if I don't, you know, I should go to the thrift store. I don't know. Do you guys find that your thrift stores are a good place to go? Ours here that are, you know, near us are just not really, they're not that thrifty. I guess that's the best way for me to put it. They're not that thrifty. And they're less so now than they were before. And so, you know, when I go and I find something, I'm just like, well, you know, it's kind of irritating because you think you're going to go and get some deals. And I seem to never be there on a time that, you know, that, oh, they always have, you know, on this day, this color dot is, you know, cheaper and all that kind of jazz. Okay, since I don't have any idea where I want to put that, I'm just going to put a tiny bit of Fabri-Tac back here, you know. Look, there's, and I don't know if you can see it, there's a little stain right there too. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right here on the spine, and I'm just going to try to kind of smear it around a little. And then I'm just going to place my little ties right there and just kind of stick it at the back. And that way, oh my goodness, that little, ugh. And of course, I've got the stained part right on the front. I'm going to move that around because I have plenty to tie. We'll just do that. There we go. That's not quite so noticeable. And there's still plenty to tie. Okay, now let's make some little things for the pockets. Yes, Cheryl, that tearing is very satisfying. I don't know why, but it is. Okay, so now I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make some little pieces to go in that are like little inserts that we can put into our pockets. And then I'm going to use a hole punch. And I'm going to make some little tabs, and then we can use those to make little pulls for these so they're easy to find in our little book. Okay, so let's see how big. Now we can't make it the full size of this because obviously we've put some glue in here. So let's see, if I do about, probably about 3 1/4 inches. Or maybe I'll just do 3 by 3 cards. If I do 3 by 3, for sure, I know I can get them in there. And since we're going to put some little pull tabs on them, well, you know what? I think I'm going to do 3 1/4. Let's see how that works. Let's see. We don't know unless we try, right? There's something so odd about, oh, I did zoom us in a little bit. So that's 3 1/4. And so let's cut some that are 3 inches wide. And then I'm gonna test this one. Let's give it a good test first. Chopping beets to roast. Oh, yum. Gosh, that sounds good. Okay, so here's a top pocket. Oh, that's perfect. And that is the 3. Oh, you guys, now, okay, and I can see that is, man, a 3" by 3¼ inch. That is so close to being square. And then you got to look at it and say, is that the long way? Is that the long way or the short way? Now, I don't even know how many pockets we've got. And does that... Oh, I'm like, how did that come out even? I'm trying to do math here magically. That's because they were 3 inches wide on a 12 by 12 paper. They were 3¼ inches tall. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm sitting here thinking, how did 3¼ get me 4 pieces and they exactly match? Oh, I've been without people too long. She's coming in from the wild. Okay, how many pockets do we have? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 pockets. I just need 1 more. So 3¼ Oh my gosh. Oh, you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me today. It's always a pleasure. Okie dokie. Now, that's 3 inches wide. Okay, so we got 5 pieces there. So now let's go back to the book of maps. Let's look for the maps. Now, shall we see if we can find a coordinating piece that will go nicely? Oh, here's a good one, because this one only has that good coloring on one side. And there it is, ripped right out. Okay. Sometimes when you are punching a single piece of paper, sometimes they don't punch really great because they're too thin. Now this, I have a feeling that this might be thick enough that it'll punch nice. So I sure hope so. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so I'm just going to do some punches here. And then we're going to glue I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of inking. I kind of wish my paper there was not, or my page, I'll get it together. I kind of wish that this was like a different color, but it's okay, because if it's white, it gives us lots of opportunities, right? In fact, why don't we just start off those opportunities by inking it a little bit before we go any further? Okie dokie. Now, ooh, a pretty green would have looked nice for this, but I did not grab one out. But this will help. It won't just make it look so stark and plain, right? We'll just give it a tiny bit of a hint of color. Okay, while I'm doing this, okay, so we've got Linda is over there chopping up beets to roast. What else you guys doing? Well, Daryl said she was getting ready to go to town. We used to always say that when I was growing up. We lived, now I don't know, we didn't live very far. Where I grew up, and I know a lot of you have heard me say before, it was kind of a little hobby farm. We had about 6.5 acres, and it was in a little rural area. And, town kind of kept moving closer and closer to us over the years. And, but, my mom didn't really like to drive, and she didn't want to go anywhere, unless she had to. I mean, if she had to get in and go to the grocery store or something when I was growing up, that was about all she wanted to do. So anything else that we did was usually like on the weekend when my dad was home. And so, and we'd always call it go to town. And and my kids, once my kids came along, they would say that we made it sound like we were in some old timey time and that we had to hitch up the wagons to go to town. I just laughed. I said, yeah, I guess we do kind of. It does sound like an event because that's the way my mom was. It was always, some kind of, it was an event if she had to get ready and go somewhere. So we just laughed about it. Missy, you're down in El Paso working. Okay. You're a long way from home. Even though you're still in the state, you're a long way from home. Texas is a big state. Okay, so we've got those. And now, I think, let's put a little bit of ink on these guys too. There's no telling how much ink I'll be wearing by the end, right? Oh, Cheryl says she's cleaning house. Is that for lunch? Or are you going to diaper? Oh, Lisa. Now that's an excellent question. Yes, Linda, are you cooking beets to dye some kind of fabric or books with? Or are you just doing it to eat? That's an excellent question. Cleaning house. Oh my gosh, you guys. I feel like mine is almost past. It is not in good shape right now. And and it was so funny because the week that I got sick, like I kind of had backed off on scheduling a lot of things because I thought I really have some stuff around the house that I need to get done. And so I thought, I can't do it all. I'm not Superwoman. And I'm just going to have to kind of back off some of these, some of the stuff that I'm doing online and get some stuff done at home. And so I kind of had scheduled a light week. And then here I, end up sick. And I didn't even get to do the stuff that I wanted, that I was trying to get done. I'm like, why is it always like that? Hi, Sherry, how are you? Oh, okay. The mystery of Linda's beets has been solved. She's going to eat them. I love it. Gosh, Linda, do you like pickled beets? Okay, this is enough to start with. So let's go ahead. And so our 3 inches was 3 inches wide. So we want to put our little tab things on the top. And so I'm just going to put a little glue and put it at the top. And I think I'll just go ahead and have it stick out about halfway. Put a little glue on here. Part of that already has some. So 2 circles can make a little tab. Okay, there we go. You guys, my 1-inch circle punch I find to be so useful. So if you can ever get your hands on one, don't ever hesitate. If you don't already have a 1-inch circle punch, don't ever hesitate to think that, it won't be useful, because it will be. Okay, this doesn't look, we've added enough stuff already that that white card just doesn't look quite as stark as I was afraid that it was going to. So that's not a bad thing. I can just hardly wait to see what everybody else is going to do. Okay, so now, well, I hesitate to not go ahead and keep doing this while I got my glue open and going. That tiny little glue nozzle, oh my goodness. You guys, that thing can just clog up so fast. It's so annoying. Okay, I need to punch a few more of those. So, have some of you used a map for something fun? I want to know. Curious minds want to know. It's part of our investigation today. What have you used a map for something creative? I want to know. I want to know. Tell me. Tell me now. Okay, so I'm going to have to punch some more of these. And remember which side I'm putting it on. Okay, so I need 1, 2, I just need 3 more. I almost had enough. Oops. Oh, there it is. Thought I lost it, but it's stuck on my shirt. Okay. There we go. You love pickled beets, yeah. Oh, you're putting them on. Oh, you air fry them. That is such a cool idea. First time using maps for me in a project. You had to really work hard for this one. It really stretches your, kind of your creativity, right, Renee? And I always like to think if we're stretching ours, anybody that's watching us, get some ideas. And, so often when we're doing stuff like this, I know our people will go, oh, well, I would have done such and such, or what about this, or what about that? And so, sharing all of our ideas is just, to me, it's so much fun and so valuable. And I love it when everybody, mentions something or, shares an idea that they have while we're doing these. No lettuce. Sewn together as flat gift bags. Linda, we should have known you'd have had something clever. That's a great idea. Oh my gosh. And think about, like, if you had one of those atlases, whether just the road atlas or, one of these others, think of how many papers are in there. I love that idea. Thanks for sharing that. That is so cool. Anybody else? I love spinach. Okay, and then just these 2 more. And then we've got all that part done. Okay, now. But I love this different kind of a color that was on this map that I found. So much different than, what you normally see, right? Yeah, the road map atlases are totally different looking. They have a totally different look, I think, anyway. Okay, so now, cap this up here quick. Okay, so now we've got this. We've got our little booklet, and now we can open this up, and here's our top. We've got a top one. And I mean, you could, if you didn't want that sticking out that far, you could cut the things. You could cut your little things, make little thumb holes, and cut that card, cut this card shorter so that it is, snuggled down in there farther, which I don't know. I mean, it just depends on what you want to do. There's so many ways you can do it. And, if you want to, you could even take your little, I'm kind of hesitant to do the little finger holes, you know, deep in here, because these aren't very big anyway. I don't have a lot of room to work with on here anyway, so I kind of hate to take that space without knowing exactly what I'm going to be doing with it, right? Let's see. But I kind of like that you can find those sticking out like that. What do you think? Would you make them shorter and have them completely tucked inside? What do you guys think? I want to know what you would do. What would you do? Tuck them down or leave them out? Okay. So, oh, well, my goodness. Okay, well, that answers this question. Those, at least, would really need to be tucked down in there further, you guys. Because, look, now they're going to be in the way of my tie. I mean, they're sturdy. You could tie right over the top of them, but now that seems ridiculous. That seems silly now. So, you know what that means? That means we're going to cut these in here like this. How many did we have? Just 2? It was just 2. Now, I'd kind of like to match those up, because sometimes I'm not good about matching them, and they look like they're staggered, like there's some kind of I don't know what, like they were, you know, like how file folder tabs sometimes are like staggered. That's sometimes how my finger hole things look. Okay, so we're gonna do that. How much shorter should they be? It's all trial and error, you guys. It's just trial and error. I do this so you don't have to. How about that? So I would say, oh my goodness, let's cut like about, if we cut about 3/8 of an inch off, let's see how that does. How will that be? Will that be enough? Oh my goodness. And can she get it in there? Ta-da! Oh, that's kind of cute. I actually kind of like that. Okay, but it has to have ink again. More ink, more ink. An ink emergency. Okay, there we go. All right, so we got that one, and let 3/8 inch off this one. It looks cute tucked in there like that. Okay, what do you think? Should I cut the top ones too? Should I cut the top ones down? I'm thinking, since they're at the top, I'm thinking leave the top ones. What do you guys think? Laura said leave them like they are. Oh, Laura, I didn't see that. Hey, Sherry. Okay, so now we can tuck these in here, and they peek out just enough so we can see they're there. And we got other pages, so let's leave the top one sticking out. And with the top one sticking out, you guys, I'm so tempted to trim those off. You know, I'm going to. Where's my tiny scissors? You guys, I'm just going to take these and round them ever so slightly so they're not that terrible point. I just find that sometimes when you do this, it can just make getting stuff in and out easier. And you wouldn't think that would make that much difference, but then maybe it doesn't. Maybe I just think it does. You never know. You never know, right? But I just think that tiny point just feels like it wants to hang on everything. So I'm just going to trim it ever so slightly. I mean, A person wouldn't even hardly know I did it. Okay. Now let's see if that really makes a difference. Oh, I'm seeing ya. Maybe not, but I'm going to say yes, definitely. It definitely made a difference. Yes, leave the top. Laura, I read. Hi, Virginia. How are you? Everybody's popping in. You guys stick around. Okay, so there we go. We got those tucked in there. And now they're out of the way. I like that. I like that they're out of the way. And now we can tie our little book. You know, we could wrap it around. We could do whatever we wanted to. I left those things so long. We could even tie it clear around like that. X marks a spot practically on there. Yeah, there's plenty of room. You could make a tiny little bow on there. Yeah, so that is about, let me see. It's less than 1.5 inches wide on here. But I like that size. I think that makes a nice little size to tie around. What do you think? So you guys, okay, so if you're just popping in, and we're going to be coming up next on our next person. So we've got Renee is going to be with us from, hang on, let me get my cheat sheet over here so I can see. That just makes it easier, right? Okay, so coming up after me is going to be Renee with Magically Rustic Designs, LLC. We've got Lisa, Craft Therapy with Lisa Ahmad. Then Jeannie with Clifton's Crafty Casa. And then Cheryl from Mama P's Crafty Creations. And thank you, Mama P, for our wonderful group that, you know, allows us to have these events and share all kinds of creativity with all of our friends. So thank you so much for, you know, taking the group and letting us do that. And then we've got Celeste, Moments with Celeste, Heidi with Joyful Artistry by Heidi, and then Bev with Bev's Creating with Love and Whimsy, and then Christy, Funky Junk Inspiration, and then following up and ending our fabulous day is going to be Liz from Crafting with Nani. And we're just going to have so much fun the whole rest of the entire day, just doing all kinds of fun things with maps and ideas. And, you know, so I hope you'll stick with us. I hope you will join along and share some ideas too. Okay. So Linda was saying that she had taken some maps and like sewn them flat for gift bags. And I thought that was a marvelous idea. Anybody else that's used anything for that? So you guys, this was just one big piece out of a world atlas, and it was just different. It was an ocean floor map, and I loved the colors that were in there, and so that was, you know, kind of fun to use different colors than what, you know, road maps usually are. So I love it. It really kind of gave it a whole different feel than, well, even just when I've made these with, I've made them with a piece of scrapbook paper before, like just a 12 by 12. I like the way that we were able to just kind of fold it and not have to do any measuring. So basically, you need to have an even number of columns. And then, you know, we did 3 rows. If you do 3 rows, then I think, you know, it gives you a nice amount of, you know, folds and pages to make yourself some little envelopes. So, you know, an even number of columns and then 3 rows. And so the 3 rows were a little, the rows were a little bit difficult to measure, but my kids always laugh at me the way I say that. I don't know. Oh, Capri says that she has used it as gift wrap before. That is such a good idea, you guys, because, you know, it's such a they're good sized pieces of paper. And now some of them, now I know my road atlas ones are a little bit thinner, right? Their paper was not the same thickness or quality as this one that was and this was like a Reader's Digest. So, you know, and it depends on who makes the things and probably when they were made. You know, we might go in now and find a world atlas that's current And it might not be paper nearly anything like what this was. You just never know. You have a bunch of water navigation maps from your sailing days. They're big, but you could cut them down. Oh my gosh. Linda, that is such a cool idea. I love that. So yeah, I mean, these ties are, I left them on. Oh, and if you missed that part, it basically was from an old pillowcase that I got somewhere, and it was kind of damaged, and so it still had decent pieces to use. And then look at this for those of you who love the stringy piles. Look, we got all of that off of just cutting this piece, and there's still more. Look at that. All the fabulous fibers, you guys. I love it. I think it's wonderful. Yes, Linda, I bet your navigation maps are really cool. That would be cool to see. You'll have to take a picture of some of them and put them in the group for us so we can see. I'd love to see those. Okay, we've got another couple of minutes here, and then I'll share Renee into the group. But what other ideas have you guys had for using maps? I'm curious. I love this. Now I have to decide what else I'm going to do with it, because that's as far as I could get for. I knew I probably wasn't going to get much farther than this for today, but now I got to figure out what I'm going to put on it. We could put some. Oh, you know what? Oh my goodness, we still have more of this paper left. We could put little pockets on. Let's do a little pocket. So, but now we're going to have to do true measuring, you guys. Ugh. Let's see. That's about 3 5/8. Let's do it. Let's cut a little piece. So, look at that. So I guess here are the continents. The light color of this are the continents, and then the darker places are the water, or the ocean floor. That's so cool. I hope it was 3 5/8, because that's what I remember. But you know me. Who knows? Who knows? And then let's see how high we might want it. Maybe it doesn't need to be real big for this. I'm going to say, well, we need a little bit of room to make sure it's got room to glue. So I'm going to say 1 3/4 inches. And then we'll just have a little pocket. We'll have a first little pocket. Oh, and these are so tiny. Some of the little side tuck pockets, you could decoupage them on a suitcase. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you, Capri. I love turquoise. My grandparents, when I was growing up, they lived in Albuquerque, and we would go down there, and that was some of my first introductions to turquoise was off down that way. And I have loved it ever since. My middle daughter loves it, and she has some pieces. And when she lived in Colorado with us for a little while, she would wear it all the time. And then she had moved back up to Minnesota for a short time, and she goes, "Nobody cares anything about my turquoise jewelry up here." Oh, I forgot to ink it, you guys. And she was so disappointed. No one was impressed. And she goes, "I'm so sad." I'm like, no kidding. They just don't know. They don't know about it. Okay, let me grab a piece of paper. Well, that's not going to work. Oh, my goodness. I need a scrap. Scrap. Oh, my goodness. You guys, I got so much junk here. Well, here. Here's something I'm working on, but I'm done with that part. Okay, so if you forget to ink, you guys, I'm always showing you this. And it's not because I want to show you the trick. It's because I forgot to use it, right? Used to enjoy going to powwows in Oklahoma. Oh my gosh. Now, see, my favorite place, Capri, is in Santa Fe at the at the plaza. It's like, I don't know, I think they call it the governor's something. I can't remember. And the people sit on a sidewalk under this it's a covered sidewalk, and they sit along there and sell the things that they've made. And so you are getting true, real, 100% authentic turquoise jewelry, and for no price of the middleman, right? And I love that. And I have talked to some of the people who have made the pieces that I own, and I just love it. I've got some pieces that were made by an older lady. In fact, at the time, she was the age of my mom. And I can't remember where she said she lived, but she would only come up to Santa Fe like in the summer, because she said otherwise it was too cold for her. She didn't want to come when it was too cold. And so she would come in the summer and she would just stay. But to be able to sell there, they have a lottery. And so there's only so many spots. And so the people come in the morning, early in the morning, to try and get, a spot. And I'm like, man, that's commitment, right? This isn't dark enough along here. Oh my goodness, it's past my time. I gotta put Renee in, you guys. Thanks so much for being here. Let me get Renee in. Oh my goodness. You know me and my blabbing. Holy cow. You guys should have said, somebody should have. Where's my assistants? Where's my assistants? Oh my goodness. Oh, magical. And now it's not going to let me find her. Of course not. Why would that be? Oh. I am so embarrassed. Here I am. It's my event, and I have failed. I failed, you guys. Sad. Sad but true. Okay. Oh. You guys, come and spend the day with us, because it's going to be so much fun. Magically rustic. Oh, you guys. I am so embarrassed. And now, trying to use a phone to find her. I can't even type right. There she is. I'm going to get her in, you guys. I'm going to get her. Go over. Just refresh your page in the Crafty Bunch, you guys. And then you will find her. What a good presenter. She is there. She is there on time. You guys, thanks so much for being here. I will see you later. I'll be here all day. You guys take care, and go make something fun. So we have solved our case. Okay, you guys, I gotta end. Bye, you guys.